Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel that is Science Unlocked. As we are done with basic concept of communicable diseases, now we will move to the last part of the topic, that is the prevention of diseases, specifically the communicable diseases. So when we talk about that how we can actually prevent the communicable diseases, there are three things that we need to keep in mind. One is control of breeding process, second is spread of germs, and the third one is related with the process of vaccination. Now, first of all, we need to understand that what exactly the term breeding means. Now, whenever we talk about growth, development as well as reproduction of a particular species, then it is known as breeding. So when we say that we are talking about the control of breeding, that means we are actually inhibiting the process of reproduction. We are preventing the process of reproduction of different organisms. Now, when we talk about the control of breeding as a preventive measure for communicable diseases, in that context, we actually are referring with reference to control of both pathogens as well as vectors, because there are certain pathogens which will be able to spread the disease without the help of vectors, whereas certain particular pathogens will be there which will not be able to do it without the vectors. So we need to keep in mind with both the references that we are talking about both pathogens as well as vectors, so that the diseases cannot spread. Now when we talk about that how we are going to do this thing, how we are going to achieve this thing, with that respect, there are certain basic things that we can do on daily basis as well as on a duration of certain time duration, with reference to 1 month, 6 months, a year, depending on that what kind of lifestyle is okay for you. Now the very first picture that is representing over here is the process of fumigation, where we are going to actually spray a kind of chemical or a medicine which will going to ultimately inhibit the growth of these pathogens and insects. Now, as per the second picture, it is talking about the disinfection of different surfaces or different places which we are going to come in contact with on a daily basis. Then a point might come in mind that if we are disinfecting and cleaning all the surfaces on all the places on our own, then why do we need the process of fumigation? Then let me tell you, there are certain things in our house and in our surroundings which might not get cleaned up properly with the basic disinfection process. Now, in those kind of scenarios, the fumigation process come handy, that the gas or the spray which we are going to use in this process will be able to reach even the smallest corner of our house and ultimately leading to the control of these microorganisms. Next that we need to keep in mind is that we are going to make sure of this thing, that our house, our room are actually well ventilated with air, and they should have access to sunlight, because what happens is in presence of sunlight, the warmth that is present over there will going to ultimately help in reducing the occurrence of these microorganisms and hence the communicable diseases. So these are general basic things that we need to keep in mind with reference to controlling the breeding process. Now apart from this thing, there are general scenarios as well which come into play, for example with reference to the storage and purification of the food and water, so that the diseases which can be transmitted because of the contaminated food and water will not be able to be transmitted. Now, the next part of control of breeding comes in, where we talk about the general things that we have already talked about with reference to specifically targeting the vectors and carriers, like using the wire net on doors and windows, using mosquito repellents, keeping our dustbins covered, not allowing water to stand properly, making sure that we are eating the completely cooked food. It should not be the undercooked food or the overcooked food. Both ways it will going to be harmful for us, as in case of undercooked food it will going to create problem in our body, and in case of overcooked food all the nutrients will be lost. So all these things that we can keep in mind with reference to breeding process of these microorganisms, then we will be able to control the overall breeding process. Next, we move to the second aspect, that is where we talk about to control the spreading of germs. What happens is, on a normal basis, an infected person might be like moving here and there in the house or meeting different kinds of people, eventually spreading the germs and using their belongings, or you can say sharing their belongings with uninfected person, will ultimately going to lead to spreading of the disease. So what we need to keep in mind is that the person who is infected will going to be restricted to a specific room only, and the person who is attending that particular sick person will going to also keep in mind that they also have to be cautious that what exactly they are doing or what exactly they are relating it with or connecting it with the other aspect. For example, one person in the family is kept in a separate room and a second person is attending that sick person. Eventually what will happen, the attendee might have the communicable disease, but if the attendee will going to be cautious that they will going to keep on washing their hands, keep themselves clean, keeping the surroundings clean, will ultimately be able to come to a scenario where this spreading will not going to take place, and automatically everyone around in the house will be safe. Now, the other aspect with reference to communicable diseases is that one should take care of this thing, that if a child is suffering from any kind of communicable disease, then they should not be allowed to go to schools, because then in that case they will be coming in contact with multiple other students, teachers, as well as the other staff of the school which is related with this particular organization. Automatically the chances of spreading of disease will become very high. So we want to reduce that. That's why we need to keep in mind that if in case a child is suffering from a communicable disease, they should be remain at their house so that they can have proper rest, and then only they will going to move to the school. Now, the last part of the topic, that is the third part of prevention, where we talk about the vaccine. Now, when we talk about the process of vaccine and vaccination, the first thing that comes to mind is that who invented vaccine? It was actually invented by Edward Jenner, and it was the vaccine of smallpox. Now, what exactly is the process because of which ultimately vaccine works in case of different diseases? It is always going to be the scenario where a small amount of microorganism, which is the causing agent of the disease, will be injected inside the body. Now, when this particular process will be done, our body will going to react against it, and as a reaction it will going to produce different kinds of antibodies which will act as a defense mechanism. These antibodies will going to ultimately make sure that the body is clean with the microorganism, and it will going to maintain a memory that whenever in future the body will going to encounter the same microorganism, the same set of antibodies will going to act against them and eventually make us healthy and keep us away from the diseases. So that is what exactly is the phenomena of vaccination, where a small amount of microorganism, the causing agent, will be injected and it will going to do different kinds of reactions in the body, ultimately making the antibodies of that microorganism. Now, this whole process can be done in different ways. Like when we talk about that how it will going to be administered to the body, there are different ways with which it can be done, but most of the time the major ways with which is known to everyone is the oral administration, where the medicine is going to be given, or the vaccine is going to be given with the help of the oral process. That means the the intake of vaccine through the mouth, and the next option will be the injection process, which can be intramuscular, which can be intradermal, it can be intravenous, depending on that what exactly is the intensity of vaccine and what should be the overall reaction and the target site with which the vaccine is to be administered. But the major aspect is the oral vaccination and the injected vaccination. There are certain specific vaccinations which are known to everyone, like polio, DPT and MMR. Now DPT and MMR are actually a combined vaccine which are actually treating three things at a time. So when we talk about DPT, it is diphtheria, tetanus and pertussis which are being treated at one time, or you are vaccinated against these three things at a time. And when we talk about MMR, it is measles, mumps and rubella. Now, so this is a whole set of the preventive measures that we can take with reference to communicable diseases. With this, we are done with this particular chapter. Next time, I'll see you with some other different kind of topic, talking about some new different agenda and everything. So, till then, take care everyone. Bye-bye.